here. I hope you can hear me. I'm in a little spot close by my house. I just got a good vibe on me. I was cruising through talking to some people at this local restaurant, luncheonette, and a little dining spot and a bar or whatever right by where I stay here in Sao Paulo. So I just wanted to chit chat with y'all a little bit. See how everyone's doing. It was just an interesting observation I have been making about Brazil ever since I've come back to Sao Paulo. Let's see how many people come on. Yeah, hey, please put a like on the video since you come in. We're gonna wait a few minutes. It's a little bit of some background noise, but I want to talk a little bit about what it feels like to be black or brown in Brazil. I think we hear a lot of mixed things about what it means to be a brown person in a country like Brazil, given that it has such a huge population of people that look like me, but they don't have as much power. They definitely don't have the financial, power that the others do. But in terms of the experience itself, I wanted to chat a little bit about it for myself and what it has been like. Now, mind you, I've been to Brazil several times. I've lived longer term in Brazil a few times in my life, so my experience is a little bit different because I've acquired some language skills and I understand the vibe of the people. I get them more, just because I've spent so much time around Brazilians in my life, but let's see what happens. See if everybody comes on. We had a great day today. Me and my kids went down to Liberdade, which is the Japanese-inspired, kind of like Japantown vibe. I just got a notification about the Tart Wars on St. Croix. So y'all know I'm usually based in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, and the locals there are having this whole battle over which fruit tart is the best because they like to bake out there, so they're having like bake-offs and a big festival today. It's such a cute community. I love it and miss it a lot. We'll be back out there eventually, but we love Brazil too, so we're kind of like mixed in that way. We have a few places that have captured our hearts, but for sure for different reasons, right? So see if anyone comes on, because I know sometimes these live streams can be quite dull at the wrong time of the day if you don't do them at the right time. So I'm gonna wait and see if anybody comes on before my battery starts getting low, and if not, we're gonna do this some other time because I'm not gonna waste time. Let's see. But yeah, Brazil has a background of being like this super, mixed ethnic, very black and brown country that mistreats its population. And I would say, in terms of the economic disparity, that is probably a reality. That doesn't mean there's no brown people getting it out here, doing business, being successful, up on all the things, but it means that the gap with that is extreme. So there's more of the people who are, less colored, just experiencing success and higher wages and being paid better and having, better careers and all of that. But then you also have brown people who are very successful, so it's a mixed bag. But I will say, as a black woman from America, I am very well received here. I received a lot of love. Brazil isn't about the same superficial shit that we experience, especially as black women in the U.S., where the men are constantly degrading you and talking down on you and stuff, which is an experience I see that can be pretty common in the U.S. Like here, you feel very embraced, you feel very loved on all fronts. So from brown people that are, lack color, if you want to say, from everyone. It's just a vibe, especially here in Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is it feels very inclusive, it's very open, it's a lot of fun. Yes, they have their underlying kind of racial undertones. And as a person from outside of the country, who they perceive as probably having more income, more wealth, more money, they aren't going to deal with you quite the same way they will deal with local brown folks. So you also have to always keep that in mind, that you're dealt with differently. They had a concept, I don't know if they still use it or if it's still even a real concept, but it was called brancamiento, so whitening. And they had a concept that I learned about when I was studying Brazil, back when I was in college at Rutgers 20-something years ago, where money whitens you. So if you come here from another country that has more economic strength, and you're here, it's almost like just because you're from there, you're not even black no more. Like, your money whitens you. So there is an element of that, but I still feel like, especially here in Sao Paulo, I don't know what it is everywhere, but I know Sao Paulo, Rio, there's a vibe of like inclusivity. Like, everybody can just kind of vibes together, party together, have fun together. I just left one of my spots up on the corner by my house. As you know, in Brazil, people are out, especially on the weekend. They drinking, they hanging out, they eating all day on the weekend together, spending time. It's very, very, very social culture. So I walked into my place up on the corner where I live, and everybody was just lit. Like, it's all races, all colors of the spectrum. Everything is in there all at once. And everybody was just excited. They had an amazing samba event last night, talking about an upcoming festival inside of that space. It's really like a bar and a restaurant that's coming up this upcoming week. So it was just, it's merry, and it just feels very inclusive. As in, you don't feel ostracized, you don't feel separated out. And I know in the States it's similar to a degree. I mean, you can kind of maneuver wherever you want in the States at this point. But at the end of the day, I know there's like question marks about that. Like, what are the race relations? Because you hear about how poor or how much brown people live in favelas in Brazil. And I will say, yeah, favela life is a real thing. A lot of brown skinned people are living that lifestyle and having to live in, low income type housing in places where, it's basically like maroon societies, basically. But overall, it's just a vibe. Like, you can be free here, you can maneuver free. It's not as much of that racial tension on your back. I don't feel nervous when I see the police. Like literally, I am programmed when I'm in the U.S., because I only spend like a few weeks there every few years. I'm never in the U.S. But when I'm there, I am literally programmed to get nervous when I see police, nervous if they're driving behind me. Just like, it's just a whole different energy. And I'm usually based either international or on St. Croix, Virgin Islands. St. Croix, Virgin Islands is pretty much all black. So it's like, I'm not worried about no police. Nobody bothers me there. I could be right and dirty as all get up, and you will not be disturbed unless they think you're doing something like super illegal and dangerous, right? You could do whatever you want. It's almost lawless. Not to say that's a good thing, but I'm just saying I'm not used to having concerns about police rolling on me, strange people that lack color rolling on me. You know what I mean? I'm not used to having that in the Virgin Islands, and I don't experience it here either. It's really just chill. I think it's part of the reason why I continue to come back to Brazil, because you just get to relax, you get to breathe, you get to enjoy life. Oh, you might get looked at a little funny in some neighborhoods in Sao Paulo where they're not used to seeing our skin maneuvering that much, unless you're coming to work in somebody's house or something like that. You know what I mean? But overall, it's a good life. You get to go wherever you want without being harassed too much, and I love it. So, race relations here, now it's different when you go up to Bahia, which I have spent a lot of time, years up in the state of Bahia where Salvador is. That was a little different. I don't know if things have changed that much as of recent, but in Salvador, I did notice the race relations were a little more tense. Like, there was more of like a you felt that hierarchy aspect of things in Salvador. So as much as I love Salvador, it's a beautiful city. I've spent a lot of time there. I've also lived in more coastal, down coast areas of Bahia, Brazil. But they definitely have some more interesting things going on up there. I think just because it's poorer, there's way more of a gap A lot of the brown people don't have much of nothing up there. A lot. I'm not saying all, but a lot. And it's just the disparity is more obvious. And so, you know that if you see a brown person, they're probably going to be doing something like a lower level type of job, whereas, the others will be doing something else that's more, kind of in the higher in the hierarchy, right? So that's in the north in Salvador. That's the area that a lot of people hear about, a lot where there's so much African culture, indigenous culture, all those things. So yeah, Brazil is it's a place there where there's a lot of complexities, but in terms of the race relations and the relations in general, but it's somewhere where ultimately, if you pick the right spot, if you just go where your spirit guides you, and you can live good. It's way more affordable. We live at like more than half the cost that we would in the U.S. Some things are just so cheap, it's astonishing, to be honest with you. And then, like today, we went out looking for a base amp for my daughter because unfortunately American Airlines decided they weren't going to let my daughter travel with her base amp, her several $100 base amp by Fender, like a very high-end, nice base amp. They didn't want her to travel with that because they claim that they can't check it, that those have a tendency or potential to explode because of magnets in them or whatever. So we were able to come with the amp. So we sacrificed the amp at the airport. And so we were out looking for an amp today. And here in Pinheiros, outside, like west of the central São Paulo area, is an area called Teodoro Sampaio. And there's tons of music stores on that street. So we were just going to all the music stores, going to the places where you can buy stuff used and whatever. And you'll find that like buying electronics is a whole nother thing here in Brazil. So you can get everything else cheap. They have their own food. They produce their own food. Food is dirt cheap. They have, apartments, living, everything is cheap. It's so much more reduced compared to up north. Airbnb, Uber, everything is cheap. But when you get into them electronics, I was like, oh my God. So she ended up having to buy a whole new bass amp. It was so expensive. Anything electronic you do not want to do in Brazil, you want to do stateside. And so we had to relearn that lesson today, and it just was what it was. We had no choice because they took her amp. So we got that, but saying all that to say is that ultimately, you can just live good here. You can live good here. Everything is affordable, cheaper. We're in the most expensive part of Brazil right now, and we're living at at least half the cost. When you go up north, it's, you're probably to 1/3 of the cost of living stateside and in the U.S., which is, part of the reason why I don't live there anymore. Oh, I see some notes. Uh-oh, I got a low battery. What's up, Ma? I'm sick. Oh, well, I hope you feel better, Tokyo. Definitely put some energy out there for you. Oh, please, give me a break. Junior, are you serious? But yeah. See some weirdos up in these YouTube streets. Let me tell you, I have my girl that I watch regularly, the Love Jones show, and she be having the weirdest trolls coming up on her live streams. I'm like, I don't know, I'm just here to talk. Oh yeah, I hope you feel better. Yeah, it's not easy being sick. Oh, thank you for the subscription. Yeah, y'all, if you could like the video, subscribe, that would be great. I just posted a really cute video. I'm trying to learn how to edit better, y'all. I'm trying not to be lazy about editing. So I posted a cute video when me and my daughter were out thrifting, and actually we were at a vintage shop. I keep calling it thrifting, but it's really vintage because y'all know it's a big difference between thrifting and going out shopping at vintage shops. So we went to a really dope vintage place out here. It was out of my price range, and I'm foreign, so it wasn't nothing I would be doing on a regular basis. I like to shop at TJ Maxx and do thrifting when I'm in the States, unless I'm just really feeling good and feel like spending some money, then I'll go shop at higher end spots. But mostly that's my speed, so this was out of that range, and they even had they had so much high end stuff in there. I was like, oh yeah, you guys are cute. So I did my little video and I posted it, so y'all check it, and I did my edit, so please post under it because I'm trying to get encouraged to keep trying to do editing and learn how to get better on YouTube because I really love YouTube. I'm a YouTuber to the bone. I like Instagram is cute, TikTok is cute, but I'm a YouTuber to the bone, and I want to learn how to maximize this platform and be able to share on here better and more effectively. You have a pure soul. Oh, thank you, darling. Yeah, I try. I'm not the purest. I got a dark side too. I'm sitting here drinking wine as we speak. Okay. Yeah, I like to party. I'm a dancer. I'm going salsa dancing tomorrow. Me and my daughter are going not far from the house here. There's a salsa spot. I used to live in Puerto Rico. I've been salsa dancing for years. I love to dance. I also like to party, even though I don't get to do it much because I'm a mama, so I have to focus and make sure the money is straight, right? So I don't get to party that much, but yeah, I still have that, I have my worldly ways. Actually, last night, a girlfriend of mine who does readings and like spiritual counseling for people had hit me up out of the blue because she had somebody who was looking to move to Costa Rica, and she wanted me to talk to them because she knows that I offer consultations for people who are trying to move international, especially to the places that I know well. And I've lived in Costa Rica. I was just there in the last couple of years. And so she wanted me to just give her a few tidbits about Costa Rica, so I did. It was dope. It's good as long as you're nice to people. The rest doesn't matter. Exactly. I treat people good. I try to treat people good, more or less. Like I said, I'm no angel, but I try to treat people good, and I like to have. So yeah, but so she hit me up, and I was able to talk to her friend about Costa Rica. So with us, we can do different vibes. Me and my kids, we can go to one of the biggest cities in the world, like Sao Paulo, or we can go and live like at a volcano, at the foot of a volcano, which is what we did in Costa Rica for 6 months after we left here. So there's a lot of, we flex a lot in terms of where we live and how we maneuver and the type of lifestyle we have. That was just deep nature. That was toucans in the yard every day. It was also very scary snakes, like, what do they call them snakes? Listen, fertilans, I forget what they call them out in Costa Rica, but scary snakes in the yard. Toucans, orapindalas, the most beautiful nature, hot springs running off the volcano, a live volcano, puffing out smoke all day long, and you just look and you're like, yo, I live like at the foot of a volcano, which was not our first time doing that. So we do it all. We like the city vibes, we like the culture up north in Brazil. It's a whole different energy from here. No, I'm not from Costa Rica at all. I'm from the States, from the U.S. I just traveled. No Costa Rica. But it's a lovely country for those who like a chill life. It's very chill. There's no frills. It ain't nothing too much going on. If you like city, urban, fly, you're not getting any of that. So let it go. What you will get is, little pockets of community, maybe of like minds, and a lot of people who are into natural things and, healing and healing the earth and so you find a lot of that there. So it's really good for that if you're in that space, time in your life where that's what your focus is. I just feel like if I'm having fun, I'm healing everyone around me. So I like to have fun, and if in Costa Rica was just maybe a tad sleepy for me, I kind of have a city girl energy to me too. Not in that way, but like I like vibes. I want to be able to hear music, go dancing, hang with my peoples. I want all of those things. Brazil is amazing. Brazil is godly. Brazil is like my favorite country. It's just you can't compare it to anything. It's not, when you go out into an environment and there's a lot of Brazilian people and the music and all the things and you just melt in and meld with that. It's like you cannot replicate it. It's just such a special place. The people are so joyful. They're joyful, and they like to get tipsy and wild and be wild, but not wild in a negative way. Like mostly it's just joy and family and friends, and that's the energy here. So it feels very natural. You feel like you fit in very, very fast when you come here. Most people do. It's an amazing country. I'm happy to be back, clearly, right? Because we were stuck in. Listen, it was like a prison sentence. We were in Florida for like 3 weeks, and I was like, "What am I doing?" I literally went into freeze. So I wasn't in flight or fright. I was in freeze mode. I couldn't make decisions. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was. This place was like traumatizing just for me being there. I'm like, yeah, so this place is not for me. I'm not good in the US anymore. And I'm glad that I had to relive that again just to get it through my head, right? Oh, you went to Rio, Tokyo? That's what's up. I was in Rio 2 years ago too, and I got robbed there. Rio can be a little edgy. Tokyo, are you from Japan or where are you from? We just came from Japantown like a couple of hours ago here in Sao Paulo. They have a huge Japantown. Are you from Japan or what's your vibes? I see you have I forget what the script is called, but my kids know. Matter of fact, they could probably read part of the script. But where are you from? Since it looks like it's mainly you and me on here. Oh, you know some people there. So do you have any, are you Japanese? That's what's one of the things that me and my children love about Sao Paulo is that it has a huge Japanese community. We can get all the bomb food and the vibes and the energy of that. You're from LA. You love Japan? I'm from Cali too. I grew up in Santa Barbara County, between LA and Santa Barbara County, Pacoima in the valley, Van Nuys area, and then I grew up in Santa Barbara County too. So I know LA well. I can't do LA at all. I cannot do LA at all. Oh my God, my phone is dying. You guys are so sweet. Yeah, Cali girl. Please subscribe and come back on. I'm doing these lives once or twice a day, one in the morning and one in the evening, and I would love to vibe with you some more. Oh, of course I know Compton, Long Beach, LBC, Compton.